Hi, good day, and welcome to yet another episode of Let's Talk. My name is Leah Squires. In today's episode, we'll be interviewing Kyna, who goes by the alias Mama Bambu, who will be sharing with us her experiences as being a single mom, as well as pending divorce. She will also give us insights as to what inspired her to create her blog posts, where she provides information about her day-to-day experiences and how she copes with everything that she is going through at this time. Well, introduce yourself to us.
Okay. Well, hi, my name is Kyna and I am Mama Bambu.
What inspired you to share your journey with us?
Oh, besides the fact that it was the most overwhelming part of my journey, it was something that was taking over every other aspect of my life. Um, I couldn't see any other way of focusing on any other thing when this was my reality.
Mhm.
And look, well, fortunately, it worked out for me in the end.
Mhm.
I was able to express myself, save a few hundreds on therapy,
And
you know.
despite the fact that you came out behind a alias, how comfortable were you?
To be honest, at the beginning, I was very scared.
Mhm.
Most of my content was very, very like safe. And eventually, when I had those compounded moments where I realized that there was no other way to say it, I had to say how I felt, it started to flood after that.
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I know I'm not the only one. Sadly, I'm not going to be the last one. But at the end of this, I want to come out better. I want to be able to help someone who may have these feelings or, who may be anticipating this. They should try and think about these things, you
How
know.
would you say has the separation process been for you? Because nobody actually is prepared to experience something like this.
You know, separation is not, I think the whole process of divorce is very depressing, huh?
Mhm.
Because nobody would go into a marriage hoping to get divorced.
Yes.
But for me, the separation experience, it wasn't the leaving part.
Mhm.
It was the after leaving, how things had to start over for me.
Mhm.
I left with literally nothing.
Mhm.
You know, I had to start from scratch. Luckily for me, I had my girlfriend who I stayed by for a while before I started to live on my own. And even that process was really hard. I can't say right now that it's the best
Mhm.
because it's still happening. Every day is unpredictable, every moment.
Mhm.
But for me personally, the hardest part of separation is knowing that when you have a child, your every moment is being monitored.
Mhm.
And sometimes that could be a little bit frustrating because remember, you are the main source of nutrition, the main source of happiness, the main source of everything. They look to you for everything. And I carry many roles. And sometimes I'm just so tired. I just want a break, you know.
And with you saying you being a parent, how would you say how this has influenced your parenting?
Hmm. That's a good question. Um, I was forced to realize that I needed to take breaks in between because when I would reach my cap, I could lose a little patience with my son.
Mhm.
I mean, not to abuse him or anything, but I found moments where he was talking, like for example, he would talk about his favorite action figure or something, and I was like, okay, yeah, and I don't think I wouldn't want that for myself, so I literally had to stop and say, okay, he's talking, give him that attention. And my mother said it too. She's like, sometimes you don't have to take any whole show. You just need to look at them so that they see that they're looking at you. You're looking at them and they are satisfied with that. And it worked. It works. It works all the time.
And on an emotional level, how has Mama Bambu been able to support you, seeing that you were able to vent there and share your hidden emotions there? How has that been able to support you?
Well, the amount of tears that I cried. Um, I think when I created the alias Bambu, I was trying to condition myself that in all that I'm experiencing, I will not fall apart, that I'll be just fine. And as Alicia said, one of Been There Done That series, one of the features, she said bamboo doesn't grow alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true, no matter how much it goes and it bends, it always have something there to cushion it. And personally, I realized that initially I thought Mama Bamboo was going to be someone who like could do it on her own.
Mm-hmm.
But during this journey, I realized that just as she said, Bamboo always had the company.
Mm-hmm.
I needed the assistance. My mother, my sister, my aunt, especially these strong female figures around me, I needed them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't and I could not have done it without them. I can't.
And how would you say has people received your work with you being that vulnerable at that point in time?
Well, I took a chance and I shared the link with people outside of the project.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them were touched. They were emotional about it. And the feedback I got was that, wow,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was that hard. I really wish I get through. You're such a nice person. You know, your son's so innocent. Look at the things that he would say. It just kind of gave me the energy to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think during the journey of it, when I first started, I didn't know how it was going to. I mean, it's still going on, but I didn't know how it was going to progress. But eventually, reminding myself that Keynes, you can do this. Take it one day. The whole idea of take it one day at a time, it's so real. Because I would be today and wondering what I have to do for the week to come, what I'm going to cook for tomorrow, how are we going to eat that. It's a constant anxiety. But when I started to slow down and write skill, I mean, not everything was posted on Facebook, but was able to write. It helped.
Mm-hmm.
Crying. There were moments when I was just trying to suck it up because I didn't want my son to see me break down. Because sadly, someone told me, don't ever let your children see you cry in front of them because they would think you're weak. But I was like, I'm not a robot.
I think they
I do
understand.
have feelings, you know, and my son has been very supportive as well. So I think I'm doing a good job.
And throughout this, what would you say has been one of your biggest fears?
The fact that I was seeing all of this and I didn't get divorced yet. That was my major concern because I didn't know if it would have affected anything. But then I sat down and I said, well, this is my reality. This is my truth. I'm not lying and I'm not bashing anyone. At no point did I isolate my estranged husband and point out all his errors. Everything that I experienced was just what was happening during the process. Scariest part is just that it has paused more or less. It's still going on, and I can't close my book yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what can happen. I don't know.
And how would you compare how you felt at the beginning to how you feel now?
Well, for starters, I'm not crying right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that was a big leap for me when I was able to talk about what this experience was like and not break down before the second sentence. At the beginning, I felt like there was this ball in my throat and burning each time I wanted to talk about it. And I felt like it was the safest thing to say was, I could. And like convincing myself too that I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to talk about it, but anytime somebody bring up the word divorce or separation, single mother, I never wanted to be a single mother. I'm telling you straight. I never saw it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when those words trigger that emotion, I would be in a mess. But now I'm accepting it.
Mhm.
I am his mommy. I am single. And this is my reality.
What are some advice that you would give to someone who may be in a similar position as you? As I
First
said,
of
we never
all,
really think about this. We never think that we're going to marry, and then you think about marriage and working and making it happen.
I would say for people who unfortunately may come in a position like this, don't blame yourself.
Mhm.
There are situations in our life that just don't work out,
Yeah.
and we don't have to stay if it's not making us happy. If you have children, my advice would be to manage your time. It's hard. We want to give them the best. Manage your time and don't overcompensate.
Mhm.
Because sometimes there were times when I felt guilty and I felt like, oh my God, let me go and buy this for him
Mhm.
just to make him happy. And then I realized, no, what am I doing? I might be shooting myself in the foot because now he'll have high expectations that I can't live up to.
Mhm.
So what I do is I allow him to express himself because even though it was hard for me, it was hard for him too.
Yeah.
So there will be times when you would get tantrums, you would get feedbacks, and I got questions all over.
Mhm.
So I would say three things. Don't overcompensate, be patient, and manage your time.
Is there anything else you would like to share with us that I may not have asked? You can say.
Well, it's a kind of funny story, but it had me thinking. A very odd day, odd moment, my son made a comment to me. He said, Mommy, when I grow up and I get divorced, I want to keep my children. And I watched him and I said, Son, not every marriage ends in divorce. So I realized that in his reality, he was starting to accept certain things. It took some time for him to understand that when people get married, and this took time with me, when people get married, they do love each other. And it doesn't mean that because my daddy and your daddy and I don't live together, that we do love each other, we care for each other, we just can't live together, and that was something that stood out to me because sometimes we would be going through our things and we wouldn't really understand how they are interpreting it.
Mhm.
So that was something that stuck with me during this experience. And it added to that another day when we saw our previous landlords driving in the car and I made a comment, oh gosh, such a happy couple. And he said, happy couple, as in happy family, as in they stick together.
Mhm.
And I said, wow. So I had to fix my words now. And I said, yeah, there are some couples that love each other and can live with each other. And then there are some couples that can't do that same thing. So unfortunately, your daddy and I can't do that. We always quarreling, but we love you the same and we do love each other. It's just that we have to love each other from afar. You
Now,
know,
what can we expect from Mama Bambu moving forward?
well, I have been writing still.
Mhm.
Um, but the writings have become more transformational.
Mhm.
It has not been focused on the things that happened bad.
Mhm.
Rather, it's looking at how she's learning herself again. Because that's something with marriage too. And that I would say leads to divorce.
Mhm.
When we get coupled, we tend to forget our own needs
Mhm.
and growing on a personal level. I mean, don't get me wrong, they said to become one, yes. But when you reach to a point in your marriage, like I did,
Mhm.
where you could watch yourself in the mirror and not recognize your own reflection and knowing how unhappy you were,
Mhm.
even though you know your partner was trying to, it goes to show that that's a personal thing you need to fix as well.
Mhm.
That maybe what the person did triggered things, but so I'm working on getting Mama Bambu,
Mhm.
the strongest bamboo in the bunch. And eventually, I hope to end her book with
Mhm.
some closure, as in what happened with the case, what happens with my son, what arrangements were made, and then hopefully hit it up with a Mama Bamboo 2.0 where she takes her life on another level, because I maintained my singlehood during my journey. You know, I think I did that because I wanted to, I don't know if this making sense, but sanctify the whole idea that I was married. You know, I want to take one relationship status at a time. And yeah, I look forward eventually going back out into the dating world as a folder page with writing on it. Because I mean, I come in as a package, not just me, but it's not a focus right now. The focus for me right now is to build myself, support my son, and learn to love myself again.
Thank you so much, Kyna, for sharing your journey with us. And we have
Thank
big
you for
things to
having
look
me.
forward to for Mama Bambu.
Yes, yes, you do. Yes, don't be surprised if it flipped Lady Bamboo. Like I said, my friend said Lady Bamboo, and I said that sounds nice.
Yes.
So
Well,
she's
it's good to rebrand. Rebranding is good.
yeah, yeah. So Lady Bamboo might hit you once or a little time soon, you know. But thanks so much for having me, and thanks for hearing my story. I mean, there's so much intricate details, but I know we pressed for time. But thanks so much. I do appreciate, you know, having the opportunity for someone to hear it from my side.
Thank you so much.